This is the Criterion Creeps podcast, and tonight we're talking about The Children Are Watching Us.
Mm-hmm.
From 1944, 1943, who can say?
Can you say?
Directed by Vittorio De Sica. Remember him, RJ?
Ooh. Could you say that again?
Vittorio De Sica.
Oh, baby. What did he do? Was
Umberto
that the movie
D.
with the Italians who were playing 13, but they were actually 35?
No, that's I Vitalioni.
I Vitalioni.
Director Federico Fellini.
Ah, I see. Oh, this is Umberto D?
This is the man who brought us Umberto D.
That makes sense. This is a sad movie, and Umberto D is also a sad movie.
So the Italian title, RJ.
Oh.
I bambini si guardano.
I'm Bambino, the great Bambino, Babe Ruth.
That's just to make sure that the people who can't handle it are chased away. So now we get to the good part of the episode.
Get out of here now, because there's going to be a little Italian talk. Oh.
So the tagline for this film, RJ.
Sure.
A pulsating drama of childhood.
Pulsating?
Pulsating.
Ugh.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
In his first collaboration with renowned screenwriter and longtime partner Cesare Sabatini, Vittorio De Sica examines the cataclysmic consequences of adult folly on an innocent child, heralding the pair's subsequent work on some of the masterpieces of Italian neorealism. The Children Are Watching Us is a vivid, deeply humane portrait of a family's disintegration. It doesn't really talk about what the movie's about, but that's fine.
It's the disintegration of a family, Jarrett. What else do you need to know?
What else do you need to know?
What else do you need to know?
This synopsis does not name the child.
Why do you think they do that?
How would you pronounce this child's name, RJ?
Prico. That's what they always say. Hey, Prico. Oh, where you been, Prico? Oh.
I prefer Prico.
Prico? I guess. You can be Prico if you want. I like the baby little Prico. Little baby Prico. That's what they say.
So,
little baby.
I had never heard of this movie before.
Okay.
This week when we were coming into this. And even Vittorio De Sica, I was like, I know we've seen one of those before, for sure. And I was like, oh, it's Umberto D. I love that movie. That movie's amazing. And other than that, I was like, what's this Children Are Watching Us business? And then I saw, 1944, according to Letterboxd, but I've read on Wikipedia that this movie got released in Italy in 1943. So I'm a little annoyed about this, RJ.
So what's the real score here? What actually happened? Was this Mussolini at work or?
Well, so I'll talk about that because you see this date and you go, there was things going down in Italy. Well,
yeah.
I'm not sure what the state of the Italian film industry was in the midst of World War II, but I learned a little bit about the Italian Civil War that transpired when Mussolini was arrested and tried and executed.
Sure.
Which then led to a civil war. As you know, World War II was still going on while this movie was being released.
That's what I found strange.
Attempted release, I guess.
Yeah. Why were they making movies at the time?
They
were in the heart of the war.
Lots of countries were still making movies, RJ.
Yeah, I know, but Italy was like right in there, you know.
Right in there.
Was France making movies at the time?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
So this is one of them. So one has to kind of think about it, I suppose, as a snapshot of fascist Italy. So the movie was produced and shot in the summer of 1942. So before Italy got taken by America, liberated, or I guess how that old narrative goes, and so you're watching a movie about values, family values on
Strong
display.
family values?
Well, I mean, we the values that we aspire to, but sometimes we fall short of because we're only human.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what's this here movie about?
I don't know.
Well, RJ, it opens up with a mother taking her little Gambino, her little Pricko, to the park to check out the puppet show because it's 1942 and you don't got a lot to do.
Fuck, is that puppet show like that thing? What was that word you used before? Rips, slaps.
I never said.
Doesn't that puppet show just rips ass?
Hey,
you know what I mean?
Rips ass. So, are you familiar with a little film called The Green Knight?
The Christmas film?
It's got some puppet shows in it.
Is that the one you mean? Is the Christmas film?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you know Impedagore?
I've heard of it. It's got
that also
that's some real artisanal puppet shows. With human
puppetry.
Skin.
That is artisanal puppetry at its finest.
I don't think these puppets were made of human flesh, but I mean I could be wrong.
We don't know for sure that they weren't though, and that's the biggest thing. It's like we can't say that they aren't, but we don't know that they, or we can't say they are, but we don't know that they aren't. Yeah. So keep it in mind.
So little Pricko, he's got his little it's not a bike, it's a little scooter.
It's a scooter.
Scooter. He's kind of ripping around on that.
Yep.
After taking in the puppet show, a bunch of children are like really into it. Other children are very upset by
that he has the scooter.
Well, no, by the puppet show. But then he does come across a kid who's like, "Wow, can I like touch it?" He's like, "No." It's like, "Well, can I put my foot on it?" He's like, "Sure." And then after he's done that, see you later. And this kid is like, I don't even know how old, like six.
Pricko?
Yeah.
Pricko's he's like 5'6".
Yeah,
probably.
He's a wee lad.
Yeah, he's just a little guy.
At one point, a doctor calls him a fatty.
I thought that was a little unfair. He's not like a.
I think the doctor meant it in a good way.
Yeah, it does seem like in their mind because right after the mother's kind of like, I was worried. He was the same weight 3 weeks ago. I thought he was sick. Yeah, but the doctor called him a fat. So I mean, he a healthy.
Mm-hmm.
He a healthy boy. You know what I mean?
Well, there's a lot of Rubenesque figures in this film.
Like Paul Rubens.
Paul Rubens.
Is that the one you mean?
That Pee-wee-esque.
Well, I've been called worse. You know what I mean? Oh.
But Mama, she's not there just to take her kid to the park. She's there for a little bit of not like someone's setting up a booty call.
A what, Jarrett?
Booty call.
Holy cow!
Yeah, so there's a guy, an old flame that she's talking to over by the trees behind the bushes, and little Pricko. He scoots along and sees his mama talking to an adult, and he's like a little like, oh, I don't know about this.
It's real like, what's going on here?
And then they go to family dinner, and Papa, he's been waiting for them to get back because he's got to go to the condominium association meeting.
Doesn't that sound like a lot of fun?
Yeah.
The condominium association.
Well, you got to know whether or not the elevator can go down anymore. You got to figure out where the garbage gets put.
Mm-hmm. What if that elevator only went down? And what if someone made an awful mess down there? Well,
that would be a big problem. You don't want an elevator that only goes down.
Well, the porta potties. You know what I mean, Jarrett?
That's different. You shouldn't be shitting in the elevator.
Sometimes it's hard to know which one is which.
Or off the balcony.
Sometimes it's hard to know which one is which. You know what I mean?
No. So Dad goes off, and you get a snapshot of the family dynamic, and you're kind of like, oh, this isn't like this isn't an unhappy relationship. It just seems like it is what it is. Now, Dad seems fine. It doesn't seem like a prick. Like Pricko or anything like that. He's just
Pricko?
Yeah.
No, I mean the dad seems like he's like attentive to the child, and he's trying to be like at home and stuff like
well,
that.
he's
He
trying to.
doesn't
He's
seem bad.
even doing the thing where it's like, they came home late for dinner, and he's like, I got to get to this meeting. She's like, oh no, it's okay. You can start without me. He's like, no, no, no. There's no rush. We'll eat first. That's very important. This AGM can wait.
He says we gotta eat at the dinner.
Yeah.
The bread with the oil. Like that kind.
Right. So he goes off
Mm-hmm.
to hang out with the condominium people,
Yes.
and Mama is tucking little Prico into bed,
Mm-hmm.
and she's kind of talking like, I'll see you in the morning.
Just see you later, big guy.
Yeah, and then there's a little like wistful forlornness, and you're like, what's going on here? What's happening? There's a tension. I bet then, RJ, what happens?
Little Prico, wake up. He says, "Where's the mama?
And
Mamma Mia, where's my mom?"
Where is Mamma Mia? So
nowhere to be found.
Nowhere to be found. What throws off little Prico is Dad. He's Papa. He's not. It's late. It's like almost 10, and he's like, "Are we going to church?"
Mm-hmm.
He's like, no, I'm not going in. I'll make up some excuse. I can't go to work. So there's all these little things being like, oh, where is she? Where's Mom? Where's she gone to? Well, there's some speculation because they got to figure out. It's like, well, I got to go to work, but I also got to figure out where am I going to put my kid?
Mm-hmm. Where would you put a kid, Jarrett?
Well, where they belong to get the socialization they require, RJ.
Oh, in person events.
Irreparable damage without the socialization that they need.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
There's nothing. This has nothing to do with any other factor. There's no economic factor involved. It's what's best for the kids.
I have no reason to doubt that, so I'll take take your word for it.
Yeah, there's not a single case of transmission.
No.
Of Prico in a school anywhere.
Once they leave the school, it's off camp. It's off.
Yeah.
Like anything that happens outside of that, that's
right.
on them.
100%, absolutely.
Yeah, walking home on the bus, that's their problem. It's not ours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So what's happened here, RJ? Mama's run away with that suave man down by the bushes from earlier. And it's like, wow, good job, Mom, winning those awards.
Yeah.
So Prico, he gets dropped off with his aunt, the Mama's sister. She runs a clothing store, and she's doing some sales pitch, doing some clothing outfitting and stuff like that with this one woman who wants to dress to the nines and be all gussied up and scoffs at these ridiculous prices. So yeah, he's there hanging out, being a kid, and then he gets dropped off at Papa's Mama's house.
Papa's Mama's house?
Yeah, Papa Mama's.
Papa Mama, she making the spaghetti?
No. She is wheelchair bound and gets carried around.
Oh, she don't want to make it the spaghetti?
No. But it turns out, I'm not sure if it's like a Papa's younger sister or like this woman that lives at the house, but RJ, I mean, I think this is some insatiable Italian women.
Well, I never specified which of the Italians were insatiable. Only that all Italians.
Well, it seems like in a lot of these movies there is the omnipresent threat of Italian men seem to hover. A pal hangs over, and it's like you never know when they're going to get you. But here it seems like they're hot to trot.
I mean, there's something for sure.
Yeah, she's looking back to this guy. You're kind of like, that guy.
You're like him?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's looking and she's like,
She's like unbuttoning her top a little bit because she's overheated.
Yeah, Prico calls her out on it too. She says, "Don't look back when you're on the street." And he said, "You did it." So he's like, "What's the deal here?"
Yeah, she was taking an eyeful of that guy that was pushing that broom.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and she said, "Ooh, is that guy potentially a dentist or something? He's wearing a fancy white coat, or is he just some sort of caretaker?
No.
I can't tell. But he looks good either way.
Looking good.
And then it's let's put Prico to bed and Let's go out. Let's go out for a little nightcap, Jarrett.
That's right. But well, they're doing a little bit of necking. And little Preco's checking things out, knocks a flower pot off the balcony, and it lands right on top of this woman's head.
Yeah,
it's like, well, man, that's a good way to get fucked up right there.
She doesn't wait at all, though. She's like, go to bed right now. And he's like, okay. And she's like, go to bed right now. And he's like, all right. Mm-hmm. And then she like looks at him and she's like, okay, it seems like he's sleeping.
And there's that foot massage.
Yeah, there's that before. But like right before she like is about to leave, she's like, go to bed right now. And he's like, okay. And then she's like, okay, he looks like he's sleeping. And she gets out of there. You could have waited like 5-10.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta wait till Mr. Sandman comes.
Yeah. You gotta wait till that finishes the job. A little heavier, just the COVID breathing. That's what you're looking for.
What? I don't even know what you're talking about. Well, the little Preco, he's been a naughty boy. He gets admonished by the whole family about this whole thing. My next note is just about spooky father and son action looking out train window.
I wrote that down. I wrote a note here: the water train horror scene.
Yeah, and then you get the water being poured, and because it just suddenly transitions into this dream fever sequence, and it's a fever dream. It turns out because apparently little Preco, he's sick. He's all fucked up somehow, and you're like, whoa, that came by real quick. And it seemed like it's like real touch and go whether or not little Preco is going to make it. But Mama's back. Mama had a change of heart.
Yes, she did. But the train scene again. Yeah, little Preco, water papa. And then it's like, and then the music gets really intense all of a sudden. It's like, dun, dun. Yeah. And there's like floating heads and water bottles getting filled.
Mom running away.
It's very spooky. It is. Spooky.
Yeah. And then, but Mama's back, and then there's the grounds for a reconciliation. Mm-hmm. But not before we get some pretty crappy kid acting, real bad kid crying.
Yeah. He goes, oh, Mom.
Ugh.
He says, Jarrett. Oh.
It's like, shut up, prick.
Pizza pie. You call a little kid a prick, eh?
Little prick. So, things seem to be like, well, maybe Papa will take Mama back. But it's going to take some time. But Roberto just drops in on Mama. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Mom's like, you got to go. You got to stay out of here. Sends the little boy to sends Preco to bed. But little Preco comes charging out and biting Roberto.
Comes out and gives him a real bite.
Yeah, and gets swatted to the ground.
I know that they like the man and woman have a relationship, but he's a little aggressive, right? I'm coming in. She says, no, not in front of the children. And he says, I'm coming in right now. Are we going to talk? And he's shaking her and shit. It's a little aggressive, my man.
A little aggressive. Well, she sends him packing. And that's the end of part 1, we discover. And when I saw that come up, I went, no. This movie's an hour and 24 minutes. How does any of this justify a part 1, part 2?
It's about the symbolism, Jarrett. You ever heard of metaphors?
Yeah, no, I have, but what?
I think it's just they're just like, it is the end of the first part of the story. And it's like, yeah, you can just keep saying, you don't have to take a stop.
Or you just transition to the beach.
Yeah, I understand they don't need a mix there.
Yeah.
And you understand they don't need a mix there. But they didn't get that.
No, they didn't get that memo.
They didn't get that,
So end part 1, part 2 starts immediately, and it's just like, they're at the beach, and you get some weird Italian bathing suits.
Yeah, you get some dad bod as well. You know,
you get every bod. There's a variety. It's a potpourri of variety.
Veracity, some would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is an incorrect word.
Yeah, you get some. You see some dudes' packages and some very high-waisted trunks.
Yeah, they're pretty high up there. They're pretty high up there. What about the packages, though? Tell me more about that.
Well, I mean, they're just on display, and you kind of go, huh? I mean, it's the beach. I mean, people got stuff. They got things, but I was like, man, I wasn't expecting it. It's hit me. It's hit me so hard here. The sky there. It is.
Literally?
No. There's a lot of just like weird 1940s Italian people body types, like very long legs and like short torsos and like weird shoulders. I just like was watching. It's like, man, this is authentic.
Well, Jared, if you put down
this is what it's really like when people like probably had much more average BMIs.
BMI, like body mass index.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The bell curve on that was just a little closer to par. But it's like, man, everyone looks so weird, so skinny at times.
Well, I mean, Jared, if you were putting down as much spaghetti as these guys were, your body would go through changes.
That's a lot of carbs.
Your body would go through changes.
But, I mean, they're going to the beach, they're swimming, and they're hanging out with their dog. There's that guy with his dog.
I liked how he went out with his dog. Like, he was holding his dog the whole time because he doesn't want it to get like under the skin. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I appreciated that. I liked that.
Yeah. So I mean, there seems to be. I'm not sure what the deal with this woman is, but she seems to be quite glamorous, and she's got like these hanger-oners. Mm-hmm. These people that follow her wherever she is. Everyone seems to be really into her. This is like a new character. But Mama and Papa and Prico, they're all everything's working out just great.
Papa Prico.
What could ever happen again?
Papa.
Everything's going smooth. Let's go check out the professor dance party.
With the magician?
With the magician, the professor.
This is what is this? The second time in like 6 months we've had a magician, or third time.
Third time
in the Creeps so far. We've had a lot of magicians recently, like in the last year. A lot of magicians. Some might say
too many
magicians.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this professor, he's doing some tricks, sleight of hand, and little Prico just is standing where he shouldn't be, and you hear this guy saying, "Hey, go away, get out of here, kid! Like, go take a seat. What are you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a dance. There's some dancing going on. But who's there, RJ? Who's there? Who's back? Roberto.
Paul Rubens?
Paul Rubens. Roberto himself.
He was looking, right? He was like, where is she?
Because, yeah, he's hitting up the sister saying, where is she?
He's trying to find her.
Where? Yeah, it's like, what is with this guy?
Mm-hmm. Well, he's what you would call a stage 1 clinger, Jared. He says, we are in love. It's a pizza pie with the love we got. It's beautiful.
So Dad heads back to go to work. And he says, no, honey, you stay back. You take advantage of the time. And then this turns out to be a bad idea. Mm-hmm. Roberto was horning in again. And
literally.
But, yeah, so little Prico, he sees this. He sees what's going on again. He's just like, no, I don't want this. And so he goes to try to get a train ticket to go back and see his dad. But, he's a 6-year-old. And everyone's like, what the fuck are you doing? Where are your parents? He runs away. Sadly, he isn't run over by a train, was a note.
No, but the sea almost gets him. He almost gets, well, he doesn't like go into the water, but it's pretty close. Yeah. Could have happened.
A guy working on the train tracks, he's like, what are you doing? Get off those train tracks.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know. Kids running around. Weird hobo guy shows up for a little bit, and then the cops pick him up. They're like, what are you doing, kid? The kids have to, then they figure out where the kid's from. Takes him back to mama. Cops give this kid a butt pat. Very old school.
Yeah, he's like, all right, kiddo, quit running away from your mom.
Give him a little pat on the tush up the stairs.
I did like that all the other hotel patrons are like, they're like, this piece of shit.
Oh, mom.
Yeah. They're all, like, the cops even give a look. It's like, we got this. And then those ladies are like, we coming too. They're like, we're gonna give this lady the stink eye like she never had.
Yeah. It's like, you want to know something about Italians? We love the stink eye.
They love the stink eye.
And the old country.
The old country, the stink eye, come into the lasagna. Beats by.
Man.
You know what I mean, Jarrett?
Man, oh man. This episode.
Well.
And then,
Mama
comes back home with Rico. Just kind of dumps him outside the family condominium. And she taxis off camera. And it's like, where's Mom? Oh, she's outside. She said she had to take care of something. Well, she leaves again, but this time Dad's a little more despondent. And but he seems okay. He's like holding it together all right. He takes little Preco to boarding school. He gets him sized up real nice. A nice little uniform just like he had. And takes him to the school. There's kind of a goodbye, but there's something a little off. Something a little like, what's going on here, really? And then there's some, again, off-panel suicide action. Not once again, but more off-paneling. And turns out, old Dad, he might have taken a big leap off a balcony, like a potted plant. That would be my reading of things, because there's a lot of people standing around outside of that building, and there's a bit where he was like very despondent looking out that window off into the great abyss. And then so Mom, of course, comes back, and she goes to pick him up from boarding school, but that kid's like, fuck you, Mom. But it's 1940. It's not. But it's 1943, and he's just like, no. And the kid's just going to stay at the school, I guess. And then Mom leaves, and then up on the screen goes, fine.
Yeah, there's a moment. It goes,
yeah, that big moment.
Yeah.
So RJ, gotta say, besides, I guess, the fact that Vittorio De Sica worked with his screenwriter for The Bicycle Thief for this movie, this is their first collab, and I guess was a big jump in the career of De Sica, coming up being like kind of a jobber, and then when he found his screenwriter, man, it all turned around for him. This is kind of like the beginning of that. I don't know if this movie is any great shakes.
Okay. So is that why you decided to watch it twice?
Well, the first time I watched it, I
fell asleep.
I just kind of didn't care.
I figured it was one of two things, because I know that whenever you rewatch a movie, it's either because you really enjoy it, or you didn't really pay attention and then you felt bad, and then so you rewatched it. And I felt that I wasn't sure, but I was like, I feel like it's gonna be that one that he didn't really watch it, and he's like, am I missing something? And then you go back and you go, oh, okay.
Yeah, because there comes a point where you're thinking about, what am I going to talk about? I don't like, is that all there is? That's kind of how I felt after the first time watching this, and I'm like, well, I better give it a second shot, because sometimes you can wind up with a Juliet of the Spirits where you're like, holy shit, this movie's incredible, or you wind up with The River, and you're just like, oh no, but with that movie, I had far more to go off of. Like, there was something to it, even though I think that movie is classic Renoir. I was kind of like, yeah, I can talk about something. I can talk about why it fails. This just seems so generic to me. I don't know. I mean, as we've discussed before, I don't care about 1943 Italy and its views of the family, and why this would be like a very, like, this is like Hallmark movie making. It's like, oh, it's a family. It's breaking apart. That's not simply done. And people don't get divorced, I mean, except Italian style.
Well, I mean, that's the only kind of divorce there really is.
Right. She's just running around, but there seems to be no repercussions that other than shame and embarrassment for Papa.
A lot of shame. Yeah. I don't.
So
yeah, no, I agree with
you. So I had to rewatch this because I was watching this, but I didn't care. And then and then I felt bad because I'm like, well, maybe I just wasn't in the right mood. Maybe maybe I give it a second shot. So I watched it, but I watched it on the Criterion channel. Make sure I watched it the second time on my laptop because it forces my attention. I can't just like click off and start going on my laptop to do things like when it's on a big screen. You have to like lock in and you can actually follow the subtitles, get some sweet screen grabs, and also start taking notes like scene to scene of how the movie flows.
Sure.
So I did that, and I kind of went, oh, yeah, no, this confirms. This movie is definitely not my thing.
Is it, would you say pants?
Or
hands?
Hands. It is. Hands? It's not hands. It is there.
Yeah, it exists.
It exists.
It certainly exists.
Yeah, so I have not too much more to add because it just there's other than that like kind of like odd out of nowhere dream sequence of the fever dream. I thought that let's see here, what's little Prico Luciano D'Ambrosi, who's also in Torso. You know,
the slasher.
Yep, he's in that. Little kid grew up to be in Torso.
Does he play the hacksaw?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I just know he's the gloves.
Argento style?
Mm-hmm.
Like Stendhal syndrome style?
Right.
Yeah. Where would you, between this and Divorce Italian style, how do you like your Italians?
Oh, Divorce.
Divorced?
Yeah. I want some black comedy, RJ.
A little black comedy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can go for a little black comedy.
Yeah, you can't even... Everything about this, the poster that's on Letterboxd with this kid looking longingly up at, like, does that even his dad? It just looks like a guy. And this title of "The Children Are Watching Us," it's like this warning about, hey, you know, your actions have impacted your children too. You know, it's like, wow, huge.
I know it's very strange too, because it's
like kind of. I don't know. No one should ever talk about this ever again. If it was a book, no one would ever talk about it unless it was so beautifully written that people only talk about the language and the expressions. But as is, there's nothing even that like interesting about the look of it, the making of it. It's just like, hey, these guys went on to do better things together. This is the first time they worked together. Mm-hmm. Check it out.
I mean, they sure try. I know what they were trying to do. But it's not.
What were they trying to do? That you think they were trying to do?
I mean, I think one of these guys he grew up in well, actually, I shouldn't assume something like that. I think they were trying to tell a story about infidelity, Jarrett, and adultery, but through the eyes of what happens to the kids. What happens if they see what's going on?
But what happens to the kids?
I mean, they become resentful.
Yep. Wow.
And then they leave, and that's it. Whew. Which is wild. I mean, I think, you know what this actually plays out to me a lot like is a soap opera. And I think the reason it's like that is because of the train horror scene, but then there's also like scenes where there's like random like music cues that like pop in where it's like I think there's like a telegram delivered at one point. It's like, here's a telegram for you, and then the music suddenly like pops in. It's like dun dun dun, and it seems really out of place. And you're just like the train horror scene was like not even out of place, but like surprising. Like it just kind of pops up, and you're like, oh, that's strange that was included here. That's what I felt about a lot of this movie in general. There's just like scenes that kind of like pop up, and like the music cues specifically where some of the times they pop up, I was kind of just like, what are they doing? I was like, why are they bringing this in like this? But I think they're going for that soap opera feel where it's like I don't know, like dramatic. You're just like, oh shit, she's cheating. Oh man. It's like, that's crazy. And then Like, do you know what I mean? And then it's like, oh, he took her back. Oh, good. And then a telegram comes and go, oh shit. It's like, what could it be now? It's like, what could happen to this family now? And you're like, I think they're trying to like hook you on like the drama of it, but at the same time, it's just like nothing like that interesting here.
Yeah.
I do like the scene of the little boy running on the beach. I don't know why. It reminded me of Rocky 3 kind of, but I liked when he was running and it makes him look really fast, but then it zooms out and you see it's like, oh, he's just a little kid. He can't run that fast. He's just like he's motoring, and then that shadow kind of approaches behind him. And for a minute I was like, oh shit. I was like, is that old drunk sailor going to get this kid? I was like, this movie's going to take a real dark turn. Luckily that doesn't happen.
Wow. I think
that's the what they tried to say.
Yeah.
Or the implication.
The implication. Danger! Your kid could go off wandering around and see a drunk guy on the beach. Watch out! Don't go hanging out with Roberto.
Well, those drunks can run pretty fast, Jarrett. That shadow's quickly approaching the little kid because his little legs are moving, but he's been gone for 3 days.
Very cinematically.
He's been gone.
So the score for this movie is by Renzo Rossellini, who is the brother of Roberto Rossellini. So thus the uncle of Isabella Rossellini.
Okay.
He does quite a few scores, actually. A lot of these Italian neo-realist films like Rome Open City and Germany Year Zero and Paisan. He also did the score of RJ for The Flowers of St. Francis.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful film.
Yep. And also, let us not forget, Stromboli.
Stromboli? What kind of Stromboli would you get if you were at a restaurant?
I mean, I'd get the Karen, which this movie stars the character of. Karen.
Karen? Yeah.
A displaced woman from Lithuania.
Lithuania? Was George Hofschmeiner there?
I bet he loves Stromboli too.
Do you think he listens to podcasts anymore? George Hofschmeiner?
I think he's out there.
He's out
watching.
So yeah, anyways. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much with you on this. I was watching it. I did fall asleep at one point. I woke up. I rewound it. So, like, relax. all those people out there is like, oh, he didn't even watch the film. He just doesn't even have a real good opinion of it. I rewound it. But yeah, I did fall asleep at the... Fuck, I can't even remember. Like, after the hotel scene, maybe? I was just like, ugh. It's fine. Like, there's nothing, like, real bad about it. It's like I was saying, I think I know what they were trying to do. Like, they were trying to just tell a serious story about, like a married couple that's going through something and what the kid is doing. But I think that's, like, they try to show it from both sides. I think it would have been better if it was just, like, if it was just from the kid's point of view, like anything from the vampire's point of view. You know what I mean, Jarrett? Like, if it was just that, I think it would have been better. But kind of it goes back and forth, which is fine too. Like, I know why they did that. Like, because people, if you just did one or the other, people would be like, well, what's happening with the other people?
Well, I guess, I mean, one of the earliest films in the collection that we've watched twice, 400 Blows.
Yes.
I think 400 Blows is so much better than this. It's like, obviously,
this is from the vampire's point of view.
It is.
Yeah.
The little Antoine, that little shit.
Yes. Little troublemaker.
Yeah.
And see, that's what I mean, where it's like you kind of get both sides of this, where it's not just the little kid. You get, like, the little kid and the dad, and they're banding together. I do like the kind of stance the little kid has at the end, where he's just kind of like, F you, mom, and he just kind of walks away, and you're just like, oh shit,
you just keep abandoning me.
Yeah, he says, frig you, mom.
No.
I like the build up to that, where it's like the big hallway with the doors, and the doors open, and he just kind of like struts in, and he's just like, kind of gives her one of these, and then turns around and walks away, and you're just like, oh shit, little preco is going for it. Pretty cool. So I like that was okay. I liked the old fat bocce scene. for what it was. Like the old fat guys playing bocce ball.
Oh yeah, the old men, the old Italian men at back at Papa's Mama's.
At Papa's Mama's.
Papa.
I liked that, but I was kind of
Papa
like
John.
I mean, I think that says something. Yes, Papa John, better pizzas, better ingredients. I think it says something where I was like, my favorite part was those old guys playing bocce ball. I think that tells you something about the movie. And like you were saying, it's not a bad movie or anything like that. It's just like, I don't find it particularly interesting.
Completely unremarkable. And
yeah.
my disdain is because I have to watch it. I don't get to choose to watch this because I'm like, I really want to check out some Vittorio De Sica movies. Like, I'm going to check out this one and be like, I'm really interested in this. It's kind of like, nah, it's what comes next. Like, you got no choice, kid. You watch that Arcaden, now you got to watch The Children Are Watching Us. It's the hell world that we live in.
Yes, it is. And it only gets better, right? Can only go up from here.
Yeah, I mean, how could it get worse?
Yeah, how could it? When does Gamera come up in the Criterion?
Never. So it's already bad.
And
look at this. People barely even hate this movie.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Let's check it out. Jules Larson.
Okay.
1 star, the lowest rating it's got.
Yeah.
Okay. Compliment sandwich time. Perico was cute, and I liked when he was running on the beach.
I did as well.
The Sica cut this into 2 parts for literally no reason. The camera was like if AI was told, put the camera where the actors are, and always be 12 feet apart. This is the most over-precautious director I've ever encountered. It has the creative ambition to make Leave It to Beaver seem like an art house series. This movie can be used to explain anti-Italian sentiments in almost every category.
But it is Italian.
A mother's 4-year-old son went missing for 3 days, and when he came back, she touches his shoulder and walks upstairs with him. And she's not emotionless. She is just simply not allowed in the screenplay to care about her kid, except in one instance. I think the Sica might not be from this earth. I am unable to figure out how an 84-minute movie made me feel an eternity. And the only person who was worse off was this poor kid in between a love triangle. I like Isa Pola's outfits.
I mean, that's cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Jules Larson work at Best Video, whatever that is. They just watched Shadow of a Doubt, Jarrett.
Wow.
Or actually, not just. It's one of their more popular reviews. Favorite films include, what is this? Alice in the Cities, 35 Shots of Rum, Red Shoes, and Fallen Angels. Lots of 5-star stuff. Lots of Keanu Reeves 5-star stuff. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like the new Matrix 5 stars, which I haven't seen it, but I doubt that it's 5 stars. Lots of Criterion stuff. Other 1-star films include Don't Look Up and The Mummy, Curse of the Dragon Emperor. And then they don't have a ton of ratings about things, but some interesting 2-star ratings include both of the Borat films, Blue is the Warmest Color, and Wayne's World 2. Interesting. So, I mean, whatever. But, yeah.
What else do I got for you?
I don't know. You tell me.
2.5 stars from Arturo. No more Italian neorealism after 10 p.m. Had me falling asleep at my chair. Nothing against this film, just slow and not much going on, which is the point of the style of film, I guess. I was bored.
I mean, okay. Arturo only has one favorite film, and it's Her from Spike Jonze.
Okay.
Other 5-star films include Fallen Angels, again, Cleo from 5 to 7, Lahane, City of God, Whiplash, Parasite, 8th Grade, Ghost Story. That's it, though. They only have 8 5-star films. Half-star films include Cats and a Barbies movie. I don't know why people watch these Barbies movies. And 1-star films include LaQuisha, What Men Want, and Paul Blart 2, Mall Cop. So they got that going for them. You know what I mean?
One more, maybe, from Caddo. They got a puppy in there. Caddo. C-A-D-O. Yeah. 2.5 stars. Criterion Challenge 2021. Week 12. 1940s. That's the other thing. Watching Shadow of a Doubt, which came out basically the same year. Yeah, what a gulf. What a gulf of for movies that are same era, and one is a little better than the other. I mean, obviously,
just a little better.
Well, they're different, dum-dums, but
yeah,
just like holy shit, this movie seems so such a joy to watch, and then this is just like, oh boy, so this has really got not much going on, huh? But what does Caddo think? I'll be honest and admit I know absolutely nothing about Italian neo-realism. All I know is that the majority of this movie was bland and completely uncompelling. There are some moments of technical mastery, and I absolutely adore any of the shorter scenes that just focus on the sun. However, it's all not enough for me to save this movie. Maybe I'm missing some sort of broader artistic content. I don't know. Or IDK. Maybe I'll binge this director's work in the future and find out I love it. You won't.
No, you won't.
When people say, maybe I'll binge Vittorio di Sica, you're not
going to.
You know, what a boast.
Well, Caddo, in their bio, says, I am a fan of movies that are good and liked by me. Yes. That's it. The yes was part of their bio as well. Yeah. They're a fan of movies that are good.
No. Well, did they do a binge on Vittorio di Sica?
They did not. They're currently doing some Hail Caesar stuff.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Favorite films include A Brighter Summer Day, Santantengu, Punch Drunk Love, and The Piano Teacher. They're actually doing a binge of Spider-Man movies, I guess, obviously, and then Demon Slayer, Jarrett. You know about Demon Slayer?
Yeah, I heard about it.
Half-star films include...
It's one of the highest-grossing films in Japanese history.
Well, you know why. Half-star films include The Justice League, the Joss Whedon version, and Eternals. And other things.
Great
so
cinema.
Not a fan of Eternals, Jarrett.
No, many aren't.
Many aren't. It was added to Disney Plus today. I don't think I'm going to watch it.
Was it really?
Yes, it was.
From the director of Nomadland?
Oh, one of your favorite films, as discussed previously.
Well, hey, I don't even have access to the Disney Plus anymore.
My
sister, my sister did not re-up.
Oh.
And that is not in my my area of interest. So
I see.
No Boba Fett for me. I think that's enough. You've had enough.
Well, you know.
Yeah. Any final words? Are the children watching us? Are children listening to us? If they were, I don't know. That's a good idea.
In what sense do you think?
I mean, they might find out just how horrible the world is, but we're going to change that, RJ, because we're going to put positivity back into the podcast sphere. And
you're getting positive?
Real positive vibes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Positive vibes only? Is that what you mean to say?
Only.
Only?
Only fans.
What about only flans?
Still no. It's a big no for me. Damn. Final thoughts?
Don't.
No.
You
say no, I'll go don't.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a thing that exists.
Yep.
For whatever that's worth.
For whatever that's worth.
Yeah.
Hail Caesar.
Hey, remember when we watched that movie?
Sure do.
Fuck, it was wild. That was a wild day, man.
Yeah. Silver Fox.
Oh, he was there. He was looking good.
R.I.P.
What?
I don't know. Maybe I haven't seen him for a long time.
Well, how long have you been in theater recently?
No.
Well, exactly. He's probably there.
I hope.
Don't assume he's dead. Come on.
I mean, the idea.
The idea of him is dead?
Yeah.
Is it a metaphor?
It's all a metaphor, RJ. It's the greatest expression there is for a human being to make.
Yeah.
Metaphor.
I just don't know.
Yeah, after the break, I don't know. This movie ends in a suicide, like a lot of Criterions. We'll do that.
Jeez.
That's negative. Let's not do that.
Jeez.
We get abandoned at boarding school by our mom that we hate. Oh, that's terrible too. Damn it, Criterion, make happy movies.
What would be your happy movie? Happy Feet with the penguins?
That sounds great. Directed by George Miller?
Oh, yes. The man who brought us Babe Pig in the City.
Mm.
Or no.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did the sequel too, right?
He did.
Nice.
He did the sequel.
Got him.
Fury Road.